It's one-stop shopping for history thanks to the Poarch Creek Museum. We teamed up with knowledgeable tour guide Blake Crook to show you the rich history of the Creek Nation over hundreds of years and information about things that maybe you only thought you knew. For example,
the name Creek Indians is actually a nickname given to us by the Europeans because our villages, what we call idowas, were always located next to a creek or a riverbank.
And if you expect to see what you may consider to be the traditional Native American garb, feathered headdress, or if you expected to see teepees, think again.
This is a bird's eye view of what a creek town or a creek idowa would look like. One of the things I like to point out is you don't see any teepees. So one of the things we like to do here is debunk stereotypes and myths that people have about Native Americans. So throughout the United States, there's over 570 tribes, each with their own distinct cultures, languages, stories, and backgrounds.
For the Creeks, keeping their culture alive for future generations, especially their native language, is of utmost importance.
So the Mogi language, it still exists. We have about 5 people on staff. Their entire job is to learn and to teach the language.
You'll find out about the Creek Civil War, called the Red Stick War. One faction, known as Red Sticks, fought against other Creeks who were more willing to assimilate with white settlers and the United States in the early 1800s.
So it kind of gives you an idea of the sides that were being taken during the Red Stick movement or the Creek Wars.
And later, the utter destruction of the Creek Nation as the Native Americans from vast regions of the Southeast were rounded up and moved to reservations in Oklahoma. It was known, of course, as the Trail of Tears. But what you may not know is that some Creeks were left behind or managed to escape, leading to lives in extreme poverty.
Relying on each other. And so this kind of time period became known as the Forgotten Creeks.
Things improved for the Creeks in the early 1900s with the arrival of Episcopal Missionaries.
Missionaries came in and they provided health care, and they also kept records, which was very, very consequential in the federal recognition process.
That federal recognition of the tribe wouldn't come until 1984. These are the original documents and research used to press the federal government to recognize the tribe's sovereignty. But the effort started long before, with much credit going to the first elected chief of the tribe, Calvin McGee. Earlier, I told you that these Native Americans didn't wear the feathered headdress, but McGee found as he met with public officials, he wasn't being taken seriously.
So he said, I guess I need to look Indian in order to prove that. And so he began to wear this attire, and people bought into it.
The chief is honored on each tribal election day, called the Chief Calvin McGee Memorial Day. Bill Riles, WKRG News 5.